Okay, my attention tonight has been drawn to what are we going to do once we get the vaccine and then we get back to total the way things were before this huge nightmare started. The answer seems to be we got to start planning for fully reopening back to normal. And what does that mean? We have to get our eyes back on the idea of how are we going to host people. Well, it's just that after you've been locked in the same city for so long, people are really going to want to take a trip here and there. And so your community needs to start thinking about becoming tourist friendly again. And so we have to go back to the drawing board because cities have really dropped the ball on one major point of tourism. And tourists want to go to some place where they feel inspired. So I was thinking of two places in particular: downtown Chicago with the unbelievably beautiful buildings. And I was thinking of the resort municipality of Whistler, British Columbia, where they had the Olympics. In Whistler, the municipality has very strong planning bylaws. And what that means is if you're going to have a building go up or a business in a building go in Whistler, you have got to make it all seamless with the rest of the Whistler Resort experience. So, sign bylaw is a huge thing that they use. You cannot have large signs in Whistler. They have got to be smaller, much smaller, and high class. So in my city, our sign bylaws that have been batted around, I remember over the decades, signs come here and there. And the main streets of my city are pretty much but ugly. The buildings are all the same cookie cutter buildings that large multi city companies build. They build the same building here and everywhere. Strip malls, the same strip malls. Um, they're not inspiring. They look like a factory floor. Utilitarian, but so ugly to the eye. So, what do you do about it? The first thing people are going to say, well, there's no money to go and re sign and change the look of the buildings in our community. And so I'm going to put it out there that okay, then you're going to have a plan anyway, and maybe it's going to be an implementation time of 10 years. But you'll give all of these buildings and businesses 10 years to adopt the new way of being in your city. And how should it be? Your city is full of very artistic, architecturally minded people. Every city has them. And now is the time to tap these people and ask for a revisioning of your city to make it inspiring, to make people want to come to your city because it's beautiful. And it's a place that they really want to go on their vacation. And if it's really beautiful, they're going to want to stop at all the businesses, go in and buy something. So it's really good for business. What else is it good for? Generally speaking, it's good for the health of the people in your community to live in a beautiful community. If you live in strip mall city with, well, in Canada we've got this chain store called Shoppers Drug Mart. It is the most disgustingly ugly cookie cutter building that they put all across Canada. The same ugly, I mean, it's an unbelievably ugly building. It's a huge, huge square box, and it's painted with a lot of red, the Shoppers Drug Mart um, company color. And you can see these red boxes from a long way away. And, people are so used to them. It's like, oh, yeah, you can see the Shoppers from here. But, if you really look at the building and the red, it's atrocious. It is so ugly. It doesn't fit in with anything inspiring whatsoever. It is truly an ugly, ugly building that contaminates all of the cities of Canada, a total eyesore. And so all of these Shoppers Drug buildings need to be refaced. The gaudy look has got to go. And far as I know, it's the municipalities who regulate this kind of thing. So, in municipalities, it's time that you really re envision. In other words, you're going to have to go and drive around your town and really get a good idea for what I'm talking about. And then you just go on the internet and look up downtown Chicago, Illinois, and look at the beautiful buildings. People are going to say, well, they were built a century, 150 years ago, maybe, some of them, and they're in stone, and that's unbelievably expensive. I get you, but I'm still trying to lift you above the clutter of really, really ugly strip mall city. And then if you look up Whistler, I mean, they're wood frame buildings in Whistler. They're not stonework, but they are really, really lovely to walk around. They've done a fantastic job, and it was all planning. Very tough laws on what you, as a building builder or a business in the building, very tough rules as to what it can look like. Because it has to blend in with the whole Whistler experience, which is definitely not gaudy. It's a place you go and spend a lot of money. And when you're there, you just love it. It's pedestrian friendly. They have got free shuttle buses all over town to take you from here to there. Everything, the hotels give you a map that you can put in your pocket. Everything is set up so it's really easy for the tourists to get from their hotel to the restaurant or to the liquor store, to the pub, and especially to the ski hill. Really, really easy. And that's the kind of hat you need to put on in your city. If I'm a tourist, I mean, maybe you got to go on a bus tour of your city and see, does this make sense? Maybe it makes sense for commuters in your town, but, do you have a bus that starts at the airport and takes people to all the hotels? If not, well, the hotels themselves can get together and run these kind of buses. Or, if they're going to use the city bus, then is it convenient? And I know in our city, the big problem that we have is we have a very cold winter. And, do you have bus shelters for people? We have some bus shelters, but we have some areas of town where, if you're waiting for a bus and there's a wind, you're going to be frozen solid. So, if it's really not friendly for your tourists to take the bus, And what are you expecting them to? Not every tourist is going to come to your town and want to drive. Because maybe they want to go to your bar and drink wine. So you got to make it tourist friendly.